right now at 11, drivers dodging falling rocks.
Like bang, 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 bang. I got hit with 11 different rocks.
What the judge told one of the teenage suspects accused of throwing them. Plus, Portland's mayor does a 180 on drug use in public. Why a new state law criminalizing fentanyl could do the job instead.
Measure 110's a disaster. Let's just start with that.
And how do you sell your house when those without one are driving away your would-be buyers?
Well, what is she supposed to do? She's just supposed to sit it out until the end of July?
And later, meet the local trainer and her swift teammate.
I believe in him a lot.
Flying onto the global stage. Good evening. We start tonight with a story that began as a case of domestic violence and ended with a Clark County man killing his estranged wife. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. It is yet another example, advocates say, of our court system failing victims, and in the most extreme way. Let's bring in Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Alma, how did this happen?
Well, David, court records show a series of arrests and protection orders against the shooter, James Jordan. The latest was put into place by a judge back in October, prohibiting him from coming within 1,000 feet of his estranged wife. Documents reveal he violated that no contact order nearly 3 months before he shot his wife, then himself.
Monday night, Clark County deputies say 45-year-old James Jordan arrived at his estranged wife's home. According to his stepdaughters, who were there at the time, within minutes he forced himself inside, shot their mother, Erica Jordan, then shot himself. Court documents reveal not only was there a 5-year no-contact order in place, but that it wasn't the first time he'd violated one.
How many times can we sit in court for protective orders only for the court not to do anything to protect them beyond that?
Last summer, Jordan was arrested on domestic violence charges after threatening to kill his wife. She told officers at the time that she believed he'd do it if she wanted a divorce. Months later, a judge ordered him not to contact her, nor come within 1,000 feet of her home. Authorities say Jordan's most recent arrest for violating the protection order was April 4th of this year.
It's a sad, sad day for Clark County.
Michelle Bart leads the National Women's Coalition Against Violence and Exploitation, based in Vancouver.
I just don't know what to say anymore. It just seems like we keep repeating ourselves and victims are not being protected. And I just don't understand it.
I think we all have a lot of questions. So here's one, Alma. What about electronic monitoring for James Jordan? Did that ever happen?
Yes, he was required to wear a GPS, but only for a short time. According to prosecutors, that was from April, when he was arraigned for violating the no contact order, until the end of May.
So if he was wearing one, it seemed to be working as a deterrent, then why take it away?
Clark County prosecuting attorneys explained the GPS monitoring was part of Jordan's pre-trial release conditions, but once he pled guilty, the court did not impose the monitoring as a condition of his sentence. Officials went on to say since Jordan's guilty plea last month, he hasn't had any open or pending cases in Clark County, so there would not have been GPS monitoring available for the court to order at the time of the murder. Advocates like Bart are calling this a failure of the system. David?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that would agree with that. Thank you, Alma. Let's get to an update tonight. 3 teens now face some serious charges after deputies say they stood on a bridge and chucked large rocks at passing cars. This was along Northeast Fairview Avenue at I-84. One of those suspects appeared in court this afternoon, the judge telling 19-year-old Philip Andrushin he is extremely lucky no one was killed in this case. The 2 other suspects are under 18. They have not been named. It looks like at least 8 drivers were hit, including Larry James.
The damage to the window was the first hit, but I counted last night. There's dents on the roof of the vehicle. I have 11 impacts total, so I got hit with 11 different rocks.
And detectives say there could be more victims. If that is you, call the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. To new developments this evening in the plan to ban public drug use in Portland. The mayor is ready to present his proposal to council tomorrow, but this afternoon suddenly announced he changed his mind. Catherine Cook is live downtown. So Catherine, why the 180?
David, the mayor says he doesn't think it's necessary now, given a bill lawmakers just passed. Now, on paper, the two are similar, but tonight, one of the lawmakers who co-sponsored the bill says the state's drug problem is so bad, both efforts should be in play.
More open-air drug use, more fentanyl overdose deaths, more frustration over crime. They're issues cities across the country are seeing. But in Oregon, many hang at least part of the blame on Measure 110. The voter-approved effort was designed to prioritize treatment for addiction while decriminalizing possessing small amounts of hard drugs.
Clearly, this is not working as it was intended to.
Last week, Mayor Ted Wheeler shared his plan to outlaw public drug use in Portland. He said he wanted to close the loophole between legal possession of hard drugs and using them in public. But on Tuesday, he withdrew those plans, citing House Bill 2645. State lawmakers just passed the bill, which would add criminal penalties for possessing more than a gram of fentanyl. In a statement, Mayor Wheeler said, quote, "We believe that HB 2645 addresses our primary concerns about the public health crisis unfolding on our streets, and it restores necessary law enforcement tools that were envisioned in my own ordinance."
Measure 110 is a disaster. Let's just start with that.
State Representative Jeff Helfrich is co-chief sponsor of House Bill 2645. He hopes the state's effort will be key in addressing Oregon's opioid crisis.
Nobody's using this system to be able to get the treatment that they need. And we need to have a kind of a carrot and stick theory. It's like, if you're not going to go to treatment, you're going to have to go do something else. And that something else is going to be, a consequence for your actions.
In Portland, police say they're already contacting community members who regularly use drugs. A representative for the police bureau tells us this law would just be another tool that they can use to try and address significant public safety concerns surrounding the use and abuse of drugs. But again, the bill only addresses fentanyl. Helfrich says he wishes the mayor would have thought twice about reining in his proposal.
I think his ordinance needed to be pushed out personally, but if he wants to use this law as a guise, we'll see what happens when it goes to court, because there's going to be an attorney that appeals this, and we'll see what happens. And I'd hate to lose this law, or at least lose law enforcement's ability to hold some people accountable for what's going on.
The bill now goes to the governor for approval. If she signs it, it would take effect within 90 days. David.
Catherine Cook reporting downtown. Thank you, Catherine. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, airline passengers across the country are experiencing another meltdown. It is the busiest travel week of the summer, and tens of thousands of people are dealing with delays and cancellations.
You get here 3 hours early and you're still not sure if you're going to make it.
That is not a good feeling. Storms in the Northeast have grounded some planes. It is not just weather, though. United CEO says there is a shortage of air traffic controllers, something the FAA disputes. United's flight attendants union, by the way, adds there are also scheduling delays for crews because of their phone system. We checked at PDX. There were 10 canceled flights in and out and dozens of delays. A day after prosecutors announced they will seek the death penalty, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students appeared in court. Brian Koberger's defense team is requesting discovery evidence from the prosecution, including the training records for several police officers who interviewed critical witnesses in the case. The prosecution objected. The judge has not yet made a decision. And Portland just announced it is expanding its 311 service to 7 days a week. That is the number officials want you to call for non-emergency requests. It would include things like reporting camping, graffiti, or noise complaints. The number will now be manned from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, except federal holidays.